What's up everybody, it's Josh Moore here at Alpha Evolution, and today I'm going to teach you guys 5-3-1 training. It seems to be a common question I see online, and honestly it's probably the easiest program you can follow. As far as writing out your workouts, there's tons of apps online where you can actually enter in your numbers and it'll give you like a whole spreadsheet, but for those that are kind of old school, such as myself, I like to write stuff out. I'm one of those people, if I see it, it just clicks a little bit more. So here's how I run 5-3-1 and how most people run 5-3-1. It goes in 4-week waves. So you got 4 weeks each wave, and it's broken down like this. It's all percentage based, and the rep scheme changes. So the first thing I do is warm up every time. And my warm up circuit always includes face pulls, hanging abs, and banded pull aparts, just to get my body loosened up. And honestly, it gets the core out of the way, and it builds up your upper back and your triceps, or not your triceps, but just your upper back here. So once you get that circuit out of the way, then it's time to actually do the training for the day. You always want to warm up. Now, depending on which day you do, I like to do upper body, lower body, off day, upper body, lower body, and then you can either take 2 days off, or you can come in and we do strongman here, so I may do a strongman circuit just for cardio, but you never want to do 3 days in a row. You never want to take more than 3 days off. So if you take more than 3 days off, you're probably just not going to come in for the rest of the week. So anyways, back to over here. So warm-ups is just 3 sets of 5 at 40%, 45%, and 50% of your 1 rep max. So you will need to know your 1 rep max, and you'll have to have a calculator just to kind of do the math. It's pretty easy. Your first week, it's 3 sets of 5. Now, it don't matter if you're doing bench, deadlift, overhead press, or squats. It's 3 sets, 5 reps, and you're going to do 65%, 75%, 85%. So set 1, set 2, set 3. So you got that out of the way. That's your first week, right? Now there's your main movement and then your accessory mover. The main movement is going to be bench. Therefore, your accessory is going to be something that you struggle with. So if you struggle, say you struggle with locking out, do pin presses. You can even do a board press. I would probably do pin presses first. Some people like board presses because the pin press puts a lot of pressure on their elbows when they drop the bar back down. You can also do floor presses. So those are the 3 main accessory movements that I personally do for bench. So you got bench, 3 by 5 at your percentages. Then you come over here, you pick one of your accessories. We'll just do floor press. And I would do, on these, I would do 3 sets of 8 at, say, 60%. And then the following week you can do 70%, 80%. So you got your main movement, your main accessory. Now you come down here and you pick 2 to 3 other accessories to complement these 2. So for bench, you want, tricep movement and an upper back movement, or even a lat movement, because these 3 go with bench press. I did put bis here because some people like to train arms, and it's just easier if you train biceps and triceps together. So we'll say we're going to do bis and tris. Don't mind my handwriting, I'm actually left-handed. And we're going to do, we'll do seated row. Man, that handwriting's terrible. Anyways, so that is your workout for the first day of week 1, right there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 movements, but really you have 5, 6, 7 exercises plus warm-ups. So you're getting some volume and you're getting quite a few different exercises. The great thing about 5-3-1 is you can get through this in 30 minutes. It is good if you're limited on time and you don't have a training partner. Up until week 3, I would suggest you find a partner or a spotter. Because second week, you do 3x3 at 70, 80, and 90% of your 1 rep max. The third week, this confuses some people. So here's how you do the third week. It's 3 sets, 5 reps, 3 reps, 1 rep. So, the set of 5, 75%. The set of 3, 85%. The 1 rep, 95%. And this is actually a 1 plus. You're going to get 1, but if you can do 2 or 3, do 2, 3 at 90%, 95%. Week 4, you have to let your body recover. A lot of people don't do this. Deload. Deload weeks are very boring. Most people hate them because they're so fast. You're just doing 3 sets, 5 reps, 50% of your 1 rep max. So, that's the first wave. And now, on deadlift, and I'll just run through these. On deadlift, that's the main movement. The accessories I would do would be a rack pull, a block pull, and some type of deficit deadlift. Overhead press, a pin press on the power rack, just set the safety arms. If you struggle here, set it there. If you struggle at lockout, set the bar here and just press. And a dumbbell press, I like doing single arm because naturally one side of your body is going to be weaker than the other. You can kind of focus more on the one side. For me, it's my left side. And then if you have an earthquake bar, I would use that just for like a stabilizer movement. It's really good for overhead pressing with. You can even use the earthquake bar on bench, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Squats, do your 3x3, and then do box squats. Do 3x8 at 50 to 65%. Because you're already taxing yourself on the squats, you don't want to tax it again on the box squats. You can do front squat, and if you have access to a belt squat, use a belt squat. If not, you can hook a belt up to a cable machine and do that as a belt squat. So you have your main movements here, your accessories here, and then down here for your 2 to 3 like supplemental accessories. For deadlift, I would do a Romanian deadlift, lunges, and leg extension. Overhead press, I would do a front raise, hit triceps again because that's important for overhead pressing, and I would do dumbbell rows. Squats, reverse leg curl, Bulgarian split squats, and I mean, if you want to throw calves in, you can throw calves in right here. Just something simple. So that's the first wave. Okay. Now I also personally prefer conjugate method. Some people tell you that conjugate doesn't work for raw lifters, it's for geared, but you can throw some conjugate based stuff into a 5-3-1. And how I do that is for the next waves, say wave 2, 3, 4, depends on if you run a 12, 16 week program. I personally like 16 weeks. I feel you get better results out of a 16-week program than you do a 12-week program. But the only thing different that you do is you change the bars up. You don't use the same bar. So for bench, I would use a football bar. For like wave 2, wave 3, I would use a buffalo, and wave 4, I would use a camber bar. Now, you could also throw in an earthquake bar here instead, but I just prefer to use actual bars and then use like the earthquake bar as an accessory movement. For deadlift, you could use the, you could do a trap bar. And with deadlift also, just by changing like the main movement, instead of pulling off the floor, if you just do like deficits for that 3 weeks or block pulls for the 3 weeks, that's fine too. Overhead press, you can do football bar, earthquake bar, camber bar, and you can also do, if you have access, which we do, you can do a log. If you're doing strongman, you can do like a log press instead. Squats, I would do safety squat bar, buffalo, and then I would also do camber. So you're switching the bar up every wave. That way you're not doing the same movement, technically, 2 times in the same 16-week cycle. The reps, the percentage, all that stays the same. The only difference is you add 5 pounds to your previous 1 rep max each wave. So say your first 4 weeks, wave 1, wave 1, say your 1 rep max was 225. So you based your percentages off of 225. Your second 4-week wave, 230, 235, 240. So that's how you're going to set your program up. And then at the end of 16 weeks, after you do your deload on wave 4, week 4, so you got wave 4, week 4. After you deload, come back and do 1 rep maxes for the 17th week. You should have a meet. Set a date, find a meet locally, aim for that, or just have a day in the gym and have like your own personal meet. You don't have to do it the same day. It's nice to do it the same day because you get them all knocked out. If you want to do, bench one day, squat the other day, etc., you can. But then the week 18, you start back over and run like that. So that is 5-3-1. It is the simplest program to follow. It's way easier to program out than Conjugate, just because with Conjugate you gotta, not only do you have to figure out your max effort days, you have to figure out your dynamic effort days. It's complex. This is the easiest program for a beginner to follow, hands down. You can argue with me. I would put money that anyone that follows 5-3-1 starting out will love it. It's simple, and it saves you time. You don't have to be in the gym for hours upon hours, and really you don't have to have a workout partner. Where with Conjugate, you absolutely have to have a training partner or a group. I don't care who you are, I don't care how hard you think you can push yourself, you will not max effort by yourself. That fight or flight will kick in because you have no one to help you. And it's also just not safe. So 5-3-1 in a nutshell. Give it a try. See you guys.
Keto's better.